tonight. You don't come again. In a long time way, you never come back. Really low, I do wonder. Papa and me, picking on the wonder. Really low, them the wonder. My brother, now where you there? When you come back home, my sister, now where you there? When you come back home, you sing the music, you can sing like I'm come back. Do you dance to the rhythm what people they get to come back? Felt a deep, faut pas oublier. Il te dit, faut pas oublier. We want it. We want to better new day. We want it. We want to better new day. Dreaming big for tomorrow, we gotta walk hand in glove. Be an inspiration to the younger generation. Oh, no, no. We honest because you back home. Oh, I'm la vie. Yeah. My brother, where you there? When you come back home, when you come back, my sister, where you there? When you come back home, when you come back, sing the music, you sing like a come back. If you dance to the rhythm, what people they get to come back. LTD, faut pas oublier. Il te dit, faut pas oublier. We want it. We want to get you there. We want it. We want to get you there. Yeah. Oh, she the returnees. Miranda OBEN, calling you back home. Vision. ZENZ tonight, you already know. We want to better you there. We want to better you.
Okay. We take another shot.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We take another shot today. Today is the 29th of April, 2020. And my name is Miranda OBEN. You already know. Welcoming another special guest today. I just can't wait to introduce her to you. She is a lady who, even before we came into empowering women, already knew what it takes for the African woman to progress. She understood that we have to work with each other. She understood that we have to work hand in hand. And most important of all, she rediscovered the fact that if you digitalize early enough, you can reach the entire world. So once more, on Being an Inspiration, we try to find people who have been able to inspire others. Could be men, women, children. We cut across the globe. We have had 4 weeks of excellent guests. Don't dreams do come true? They do. So in every domain, medical experts, CEOs, visionaries, young boys like the little Lionel Dassi, young girls like Cheryl, what was her name? What was my little girl in Asheri, oh, I was going to say Sherry. Oh dear. I'm sorry, Asheri. Auntie forgot your name. So many kids. Anyways, Asheri in Canada, Asheri Shuduka. That's right. Asheri Shuduka turned 9 years old, and we had her as the young guest on the program. She had a virtual birthday present with us. It was so amazing to have her cut her cake while we watched live and exchange with the little children and hear exactly what they're doing across the globe. So once more, hello to Leah in Canada. Now, the guests tell us what it is they're doing during the period of the COVID-19, how they're able to overcome this, and what they had put in place or are putting in place so that the after COVID period will be great. I want to thank my amazing team out there, which is working so hard to ensure that we have great guests on the program. You've already seen a lineup of the guest pass here in a little display at the beginning of this. So thank you again to my special team, which is doing amazing behind the scenes to make sure that we have amazing guests here and daily. So this week we have lots of surprises for you don't want to miss. So all the people across the globe working with me hand in hand, 17 of you, to make sure that the Returnees Project remains a household name across Africa and in the diaspora. Thank you so much. For someone doing amazingly well with the Kenyan diaspora, trust me, it's an honor to welcome her today. Get yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea like myself here. Get a glass of water or a cup of tea. Keep healthy, stay put. Others will be joining us. Others will watch later. Others will sneak in and watch later. But anyways, we just want to welcome you to the show today. And of course, my guest of today is popularly known as Joy Awe. We'll tell you why during the interview, where her name is Joy ZENZ. Welcome to the show, Joy. Hey.
Hey.
How are you today? It's so good to see you.
I'm good. Thank you. You look fabulous.
Oh, look at you. I was just going to say you look great, and you're like, you look fabulous. Thank you so much. All for you. I was like, nah, I know Joy. She's someone who takes care of her looks. There is no way I'm going to disappoint you today. There's no way I'm going to disappoint you today. So thank you for that. So what is life like in a lockdown, Joy? Tell me how your day was.
Well, my day is quite interesting. I'm working from home, so that makes it actually no difference. Actually, I have been so busy more than normal because in life you have 2 projects you do at one time and not all together, but this time you have everything all together. So it can be busy. So with working, I have 2 children, of course, 2 boys, teenagers. One is finishing this year, so it's a challenge to make sure that how the homeworks are done and being also there for them for also the normal daily tasks like food and eating and also having a good time talking to each other too. Yes.
Right.
And
now before
it tends to be dark bright all the time. The sun is quite playing me today here.
That's okay. So you're mixing between being at home, working from home, and taking care of your boys who are now so big. I saw pictures of them and I'm like, time flies. So great job, mommy. You've done great. And the boys are now looking so big. Great job.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Right. Before we go too deeply into the interview, tell our guests and our viewers, exactly what it is you do. Who is Joy ZENZ? How would you describe yourself? Profession, passion, private.
So, as you can see, I'm Joy Awe, but my official name is Joy ZENZ, and there's a reason to that. That's Joy Awe. I think most of the people think I'm Nigerian because of the Awe part. No, it's an abbreviation of African Women in Europe. So I'm very passionate about working together with other women, which is something that I love doing quite a lot in terms of here in Europe, coming here in Europe. I'm based in Germany, and very compassionate about women, how they communicate, how we interact with each other to build each other up with whatever we have. As you know, nobody is there to support you, so you have to be really a step forward and trying to get where you are. As well as have, and you find people doing jobs, you wonder why is that? Well, I mean, all that there's no difference. You just need to do your polish up your language and you're all into the line to whatever your dreams are. If you surround yourself with the wrong groups, you'll find yourself that you you end up having a lot of difficulties in terms of finding the right people to connect to. So that's why I'm passionate in creating a platform for women to come together, bring the passion on the table so that they can all work together.
Right, your internet is stalling a little bit.
That's a really long time. And yes, so it tends to be a very interesting event we do as well as projects. Yeah, so that's my passion. So personally, I'm going personally. That's more the organization and things, and I work as well for an organization, a pharmaceutical company where I'm there as well. And I love giving my time 80%. And the other 100% I'm running around with my children.
Taking care of your big boys. Right. So now you've mentioned the women working passionately with women and all that across, and you've talked about Our Way, African women in Germany. So just telling our viewers who will tune in now and those who will tune later, check out the Facebook page, African Women in Europe, and you'll see the work Joy has been doing for many, many, many years. So Joy has talked about her profession, her passion, and her private life, taking care of 3 very cute boys, and it's always a pleasure to see the mix between her mommy life and then her professional life. But tell us more about Our Way. What was the inspiration, the creation, the challenges? What has the journey been like for you with the African Women in Europe initiative?
Yeah, that's sorry for me fidgeting around. I'm still trying to make sure that I don't look so dark in there.
I know. And then the camera keeps on stalling, like it's breaking, and for whatever reason. Wow. Yeah. Trust me. Well, I know. Just to help our viewers to know who is on, right, until we get the camera moving, this is what Joy looks like, okay? This is what Joy Sands looks like. The internet connection is stalling, but when Joy is on and connected, this is what she looks like. So you know who is talking to us. Right, Joy, so carry on. Right.
We're talking. I like my new look anyway.
Oh no, I love it. Hey, I love it. I was just like, not only the hair is very, very beautiful, I would want to find out more about that hoodie, but that will be behind the scenes, right? An African map and the center there. And so, I don't know, it's so creative the way it's made. And of course, everyone who knows me knows I love the color yellow. So in case you want to know, yeah, your hoodie is highly... Where did you get that? Did you get that made in Africa?
The hairstyle or the hoodie?
The hairstyle and the hoodie.
Both are from African, definitely.
Right.
So in Kenya, so my husband was with them. It was a present from my sister. They came to visit us over Christmas. So they brought me these. Actually, I'm not going to tell the secret, but they were for the boys. They were presents for the boys, but I took them for myself.
Really? The yellow one? Who is that lovely person who brought that? Tell them there are a lot of aunties. But actually, it's a matter of fact, try to find out if we can get that, you know, so we can patronize the work. Do some, and whenever we have the Our Way events, just reserve one for me already. I'm buying it. And then we get some more from the designer. I think it's a brilliant idea. That way, like we always say, right?
But I'm sure we could get this at some points around, definitely, yes.
That would be good. That would be good. But don't let that take us away from our interview of today.
Yes,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, don't let that... You first.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I hear you well and see you better. It's actually clearer now. So I was just going to say hello to Tango Solange Kifa, who is watching. Say hello to Cheryl Tata Bodndasi. She says hi, ladies.
I know her.
Hi, Cheryl. Yeah, she's a great lady. She's a great lady. Talk about working together, empowering women and working together and collaborating. That's Cheryl for you. Now, Joy is an amazing woman. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, Liza Ragwar. She's actually part of the speakers arena. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. And we have Gilles watching from Luxembourg as well. So good to see you, Gilles. Thank you all for connecting. Thank you for always tuning in. And of course, for those who will watch later as well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Joy is trying to get a good spot where she has the best lighting, and then we can carry on with the interview. Yeah, it looks like it's better. Much, yeah, this is much better. Don't you think it's better now? Yeah?
Yeah, that's better.
Yes, it is. So hello, Gilles, watching from Luxembourg. Good to have all of you tune in. We've already found out who Joy is, more details about her profession, her passion, and her private life. So we're moving on to find out more information about AWE, the African Women in Europe. And I said, check out the Facebook page, African Women in Europe, to know more about Joy's work. But then we'll get into the details of the creation of the AWE. Now, this was set up. When was it set up? How did the inspiration come about? And how was the process of creation? Then mention maybe the challenges as well. Just tell us more about the AWE.
Yes. Well, the AWE organization, the African Women in Europe, as it says, it was registered almost, 13 years now. And we started very humble, trying to mobilize our women together. And the aim of it was trying to connect with other women who are doing great work outside there. And being in a very small village here in Germany, I'm living very south of Germany, so very in also another village next to it's not the big city. So the connection, seeing people, what are they doing here? Because I came with big vision. I wanted to do so much. For me, I never thought where you are should stop you from what you're doing. So so when I came in and I had that hurdle of, first of all, the language and not meeting the right people. So I said, you know what, let me start something, or try it. It was one of my friends was creating website those times, how to connect people. Try it. I gave it a shot, and so basically because those days the way to create an internet was quite interesting. So whenever you told somebody you had a website, it was like, what? Oh, you have a website. And so like, yes, I have a website. So those days in 2008, the Facebooks and all this stuff was not there. But to be honest, not that I learned how to do all these things. So what happened is that we had a discussion. I've written actually this on my book, How I Came Here. So that's something we should follow up later. But I'll give you a short clue about how I got into the digital world. And I loved it because the idea was putting me in this cage where I was disappeared. I was really not here. I'm here and I'm not here. So I was like going into the internet and I was into the world and connecting in all sorts of ways. So why I started very humble, not having a computer at all, not having had any courses whatsoever of computer. And the only thing those things used to have is emails. So I started with an email. And I just looked around my house and said, you know what, I have this big TV. I don't even understand their language. And we wanted to buy another bigger TV. I had to negotiate to the father of my children. Why don't we buy a smaller TV and I get a computer? You know, then I can look in English because everything was so much German. It was good, but I couldn't relate with the TV so much. So I got myself a computer. I taught myself everything. I'm just going to tell you through the beginning. So I taught myself how to press those buttons. I call them press the buttons, just see what will happen. And luckily he was around. I don't think even I ever had to ask him to put it back. I figured it out how to put things back in order. So yeah, so from there I went on and on. Very, very curious. I discovered something that I never knew that was existing, and connecting very much. I started a website. It was that nowadays when you say subscribing from another main company to get a website. Now you can say that you understand that now. But those days people didn't get it, but you still had to work a lot in terms of how to make it look nice. What are the contents? So I used to work day and night. And don't forget, I had two boys who are now in their teenagers. One is turning to be an adult. So that time they were like very young, like 2 years, and that one was few months. So it was not so much time. So when they were sleeping during the night, that's when we were really on. We used to call the African women busy at night. Yeah. So we were on. Before you know it, we had a website. I started in 1 week. Before 1 week, I had 50 members. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do with all this? So those days were like, you have to give people, because we had to sign in and be a member. So I started with the countries that I knew would relate to what I was doing, and connecting the people. I had already a network of people. Someone would connect to this one, connect to that one. and then I connect to the next one. That's how the group grew up very much. And so anyway, it has really grown. We all worked online. Everything we do was online, nothing else. So we used to have things like Vibers, and we used to have things like Yahoo. Nowadays we call them WhatsApp and
LinkedIn. Oh,
the technology there was there. It was not as clean and smart as it is right now, and not connected. It was there as well, but things like Facebook was somewhere you would go to look for your classmate. And I'm sure didn't want to know. My time in Germany was so bad, so I didn't want to be found at that time.
No, don't find me.
I always started in a way of trying to connect people in terms of bringing women together. So we had very clear visions, and I have to laugh about it because the other day somebody was telling me, "Oh, I think you're a YouTuber," and I said, "YouTuber? What does YouTuber be?" I mean,
you've had YouTube for so long, right?
And I said, yeah, if you own videos on your YouTube, you're a YouTuber. Really? And then I went to check my videos. I said, oh my God, I have so old videos like 20 years ago. I had all the time. Had them to make the video. Don't ask me how I had all the energies those days, but I used whatever was there because I could not pay. Okay,
right.
Don't get your mom, you're here, you're not working. The only thing I had was time. Yeah, and I used the time to go into the internet and to check all sorts of things. What works for me? We were working with URL. I had no idea what they were called, so you could fix up things to look the way you want them to look like. And they were one. So that was more the African Women in Europe, how it started connecting people, because I think the success of it as well was because I was also very interested with all that kind of stuff, because you didn't have the network or the interest to learn how to do the connection through online.
Right.
And so from there, it opened up so many doors for us. We started meeting women from different regions we've never met before. Our first event we met after I think 2 years, and we went to Madrid. And Madrid was, I never went to Madrid to look for the hotel. No way.
Right.
I used, you had Google Map was just us. They said to map, I don't know, one of the two. So you could see where the hotel is. It's a nice area. And go and meet there for the first time. So I didn't have to go there. For several years, I never went to the event. So that we could connect. Well, this is the woman, the problem with the African culture, and I have to say it was really, really hard to get the African culture into the online world. And I was successful through the word of mouth. So we did quite a lot to have our members joining in through word of mouth and training them how to log in. Simple things like put your name, just put your photo. Photo was a big issue. So like now our website, African Women in Europe, is a closed group. It's a closed website. So you have to sign in to see what is there. So it was a rule that was put. So right now, when you go there, you might see the first page, but to see anything else, you have to sign in to be a member.
Membership,
We created a space where women could say anything and whatever they want without worry, which was Facebook up later. So Facebook was actually competing with all our websites because we were doing almost similar things in the different platforms, right?
Right.
So and other social media websites, but they're still there. That we still kept our page, and it's still on. We have our website www.africanwomenineurope.eu. That we kept the picture. So nowadays we do a lot of projects. So the women have seen such a great connection. Women have also learned, also going online through all these gadgets that I'm talking about. And they've learned also to work together, because our main motto of our way is we have to work together. So we say together we are strong. So
together we are strong. So that's the motto of our way, African Women in Europe. So www.africanwomenineurope.eu is the website. So go there for more information. Yeah. So you had a big vision with this. What is your vision then for the AWE?
The vision for the AWE, it kept changing, but it's still the same. So our main aim is to inform, network, empower each other, acknowledge each other through awards, and then building a networking platform where women and men can, also the men, we include the men as well, and the youth as well, can
Right.
meet and do our events. And then the last one, all this didn't come together. The vision was always growing, growing, growing. So the last one is the one that we do now. We are investing in Africa.
Right.
So what does that mean? We're investing in Africa means we are now really targeting one country. When we started where I know best, because I think in Africa it's very important to work with the language. Otherwise, business is quite difficult. I mean, when I started African in Europe, they said Africa business is a very difficult business. So yeah, I think there's something. Okay, so
emergency. It's not here though. So your vision expanded and changed along the years, and today one of the main focus you have is investing in Africa. Now, mentioning investing in Africa, before we go to that more deeply, you started with Kenya, which is your home country, because you know it best as your proof of concept. Have you identified maybe 2, 3, 4 areas which you can say, you tell the diaspora, this is where you can best invest? What are the areas where people should most invest in?
For us right now, we are focusing on entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. So this is where we are focusing on, because we are women and we are focusing on women who are doing great work. Like the other day I was interviewing, as you know, I also host my own interviews.
Right,
during this time. And we've seen so many women doing great work outside there. And because most of the time they lack financial support or also just the support of somebody being there to listen to them, and also building a connection on how one end to go to them, and education, and also the mindset, to make sure the mindset for actually their businesses. When I talk about entrepreneur, it's a big name. This means all the way to even in agriculture, women doing in business in agriculture. This means people in technology, women in tourism, every sector that it's covered around, because especially the agriculture business is also a very booming business right now. As you know, the borders are closed, and people have to eat local food, and there's no China food coming to your country anymore. So you need to get the local business, which had already died, need to be pushed up there. So yeah, so these are the line we are going. So we have we've just registered a credit and saving cooperative society. So that was a very successful, but you still have a lot of work to do.
Registering it, I know, is usually tough from the stories we hear, right? You have to wait and wait and wait. And for people in the diaspora who are not used to bribing their way to get documents signed, for you, you're like, I'll be patient here. I'll wait till I get this document signed. So the first step of getting it registered, I congratulate you and your team definitely for that. Right? And then before you carry on now with whichever domains you're going to invest in and so on. So again, for those who are tuning in, if you want to know more about the African Women in Europe, that's the website, www.africanwomenineurope.eu, or check out the Facebook page, African Women in Europe, or just go to our guest timeline, Joy Our Way on Facebook. Remember, Our Way is just the African Women in Europe. So don't think, oh yeah, she's my Nigerian sister. Her name is Our Way.
I like to connect with everyone.
The Nigerians think, okay, because of the name, right? You mentioned earlier on, right? But anyways, now you talked about the African Women in Europe, and I remember, yes, specifically the first time my team actually got to me about your structure. You deal with events in which you empower women, you recognize what they do, and so on. So you already have events planned for 2020. Tell me what it has been like for you. I mean, because we're running this interview when the world is facing a pandemic, an unprecedented situation, crisis. So what has it been for you with a lockdown as a result of the COVID-19? How have your events been moved around or postponed, canceled? Just give us a little bit of an overview what your 2020 Our events plan looks like now.
Yeah, it's such it's supposed to be a very big year for Our, because for the first time we want to have several events in different countries. And this has not been killed yet. We're still going to do that. So we had events starting from, we had already booked hotels as usual because once per year, but this time we were supposed to meet almost 4 times in Germany, in Holland, in UK, and Switzerland, and in Brussels, I mean in Belgium. So it was quite a lot of events that were lined up. But since this is just icing to our organization, the meetings are not the main thing, but they're good so that we can meet and interact. And when this happened, Black Thanksgiving started in the beginning of the year. So some of the events we knew they will not happen, so we had to cancel. Like in May, the first event was starting in May, so in Germany, so we canceled that. It was supposed to happen in Berlin, but meaning canceling is for saying that we will postpone it, because we always have events every year. So if it's not happening this year, it will happen next year. And then we have Holland as well that is supposed to start in July 27th. We also have canceled that one because the Holland, all the events, hotels will be open much later. So the only one that's going now is UK, which is in September. So we're still holding on and see what happens. So yeah, so it's as I said, canceling was good because we didn't lose so much. We lost a lot of sponsors because our events are run by sponsors, and we are finding another way of also marketing their work through the events that we are doing here, and the interviews that we have changed to. So the concept just changed a little bit. So we are still supporting companies who are doing quite, who want to get known, especially now everybody's at home. They have all the attention for you.
Exactly.
So that's what we are also doing, working together with these companies that were sponsoring the events. Yeah.
Right. So you actually see a chance of reaching out to your audiences digitally. What do you, I look at you like a pioneer when it comes to that, because before people jump now on like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, you had YouTube like a long time ago, right? And you had worked with all these different platforms. You already understood, you kind of saw before your time that if I go digital, I can reach more people through the platforms. Has anything else changed during this lockdown where you think, okay, I could get something maybe looking better or fine tune something? Or are you satisfied with what you've been doing throughout now that the world is catching up with you?
Yes, I mean, I can now really enjoy what I invested in. That's what I can say. It was, even if I had all these tools, not everybody was using them. Don't forget, you have to do them, you have to subscribe to them, so you're still having them. So in my case, what I'm doing right now, I'm making maximum use of all the subscriptions that I ever owned, because right now probably they're quite expensive like than then. So we have a lot of Zoom meetings. I have to say, I have never been so busy with Awe ever online. So because we get the attention we always wanted, everything is coming from our end, and people already knew that we were existing, so they know whatever there, and they're even asking questions. Like the other day, somebody else asked, how do I join your Zoom meeting? I said, it's a simple app. Just download it on your phone and you put the numbers in. Okay, now they're a bit complicated. You need 2 passwords. You know,
oh, really?
You train people as they come in and they join in, and before you know it, we are educating each other in different ways to digital world. So, for example, most of the interviews that I've done right now, they also offer them online too.
Right.
So, for example, last one we had sports and meditation. We have already had Zoom sports. We tried, but the problem with the internet is too, how to say, it's too slow for movement. You have to follow somebody doing right. So we had to start, but we did meditation with that, and very soon we have also online people who want to bring their businesses to go online. It's already all you can check on my page if you're interested. If somebody who want to go now into the digital world, bring your business to online. There's a lady who is doing that, the pioneering that as well, doing more in the programming sectors that I'm talking about, where recently she also managed to put all people, some people who make masks, but it's very hard to find them. So she found a program and put them together in one place. That kind of things. And very soon we're also been sewing. Some of us have sewing machines, and we need the masks. Actually, in Germany, you have to make your own mask. So this time we are having a training as well, where the masks, we're going to learn how to get the machine started.
Right.
How to go, we have the seller. Yes, so that's kind of quite interesting tools. So that's why most of the tools that right now, what I'm trying to learn is to now do the soft skills.
How to cook? Really? I got you there. But I think, anyways, what you're focusing on cooking is not too bad. But the interesting thing is that we should be focusing on fruits, a lot of fruits, lots of vegetables. So you're good with that, right? Because yeah, I'm going to have to talk to your boys regarding this mommy focusing on how to cook and so on.
Look at this. They're made of salads.
Right. Instead of only the salad. I was just mentioning to our viewers here that this is your bigger boy. We found this actually really fascinating that he came up with this little stay-at-home sign campaign. So everybody out there watching, if you want to get out through to Joy ZENZ, then get through to her and send one picture of the stay-at-home sign. That's how her son created that. Ooh, not so easy, right? I'll try that as well, but that's amazing. And you mentioned also that you do try to do exercises by following on Zoom, and my team has been snooping around a little bit, and we found that is Joy, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. That's Joy when she's keeping fit and all that. Yes, because effectively that's what we're trying to encourage people to do. Eat healthy at this time, exercise when you can. So we commend you for the fact that you're an all-round mommy, you're still working, you're learning your soft skills in cooking, but then you find time to also exercise, make sure you keep fit. And doing that through Zoom is not that easy, so you go to other platforms. Tell us at this stage a little bit, Joy, your analysis of looking at Zoom, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. What are kind of like advantages or disadvantages of using one or the other? You just mentioned actually Zoom being slow with the sports movement. So I think from your experience, having pioneered in the digitization, how would you describe these different platforms, looking at advantages and disadvantages?
Yeah, I would like to tell people not only to focus what is written, like what is there. There are so many others that are not being here. Like there is a meet me. There's so many others. What happens with all these tools, as you see, they're all live streaming tools. And what happens is that they get overloaded. That's what makes the performance not good.
Yes.
Because we were running from one another, and because there was so many subscribers. I remember that when we used to stop all those, like you call them Yahoo, all those, we used to stop and run another one, which is better, and everybody else the same. So we ended up overloading so many of these guys, and of course the performance gets lower and they don't get feedback. So definitely try and talk to other people, find out what else is there. There's so many others that you can try. They're not expensive. Some of them are free that you don't need to pay. And for me now, Zoom, I have to start looking somewhere because it's overloaded. Like also trying also my live stream on other places that are not overloaded, because then I don't have problems making my videos. Like for example, what we're using right now, I also discovered it not long ago. I'm using it now because I'm coming out from another one which was called Be Live. Be Live was there, and also once you learn, what I can tell newcomers who are starting, once you learn one, most of them are similar. They're all similar in one or another. You need to get to start. And one of my friends, and actually I love this statement, she said, this is not the time to say ready. You know that the way you prepare to run, you said ready. There is no time for ready now.
That's a good one. It's just go. It's just like, Joy, go. Mira, there's no time for on your max. No.
You have to. And also this time.
Who said that, Joy? Who said that? I like that. Who said that?
She's Dr. Beatrice Lucase, and she's the one offering the training course, and she's in Holland. She's called the Queen of Communications.
Oh, extend our regards to the Queen of Communication. Extend our regards to her. I like that, actually. There is no time for ready. No. Just go. Get going, right? The slower ones will be left behind.
And the digital world right now, what I want to tell the people is that if you're not online, if you don't know how to log in, I mean, you're really misusing your time right now as during COVID-19, because these are the things you should be learning: to go online, press buttons, make mistakes as much as you can, because the world is changing where we're going now. It's not going to be the same. Not at all. Look at now. I would normally wonder, how do all people really go banking? I mean, it's crazy right now. All these, like, you have IBAN. How many numbers are those? I mean,
exactly.
Nobody is being waited for. And I have to say, in Germany, I find it very slow for me, really. What I learn most of the time is from UK or US. That's where I get up, catch up, what's new, let's go. I mean, it's the digital world is like that. One thing, and don't sleep, because the thing is that it changes and you have to start another one. Another one stops, another one starts. So don't start opening old boxes like the ones I'm talking about for Zoom. Forget about it. You need to look for new ones. New. What is coming new? These are the ones you should be learning.
Exactly. Perfect. I actually like that advice. Perfect, Joy. I like it. Yeah, I'm just talking now, just not wanting to interrupt you, Joy, but from an IT perspective, right? So Monday through Friday, when I'm focusing on being an IT expert, I look at people who are slowing down. I'm like, speed of implementation is important at this moment. And when I saw what you've been doing for years already before this happened, I was like, damn, I need to talk to Joy about this. I definitely need to hear where her mind was far ahead of time. You know, we have Letice Ojong Bisong. Hi, Letice. How are you doing? Beautiful. She's so gorgeous, this Letice. Hi, Letice, you beautiful girl. I'm all for everything. Digitization is the era. People really need to get used to this. That's exactly what Joy was saying here, right, Joy?
Yes. You have to be ready to go. There's no time for ready. Just hit the button and press those buttons. I always tell even the women my age and above. I have to say, in Africa, some of us are back in Africa, not here in the diaspora. Diaspora Africans are really behind in digital. I am so overwhelmed what they're doing. Like, all my posters for my events, they're done in Kenya, all of them, all my websites, and they're done to the modern way possible. And I pay very cheap money to do this stuff, because at the end of the day, if you cannot do it, then you have to pay. I have to say, digital world is not for everyone, to be honest. Some people, it's too complicated. I have to admit, it's not for, but you really need to prepare. Also, your children, even if you see them playing games and all, stop thinking that way. So let them catch up with the world. Yeah. I'm sorry, my kids are also very digitalized right now. and I cannot stop them, because I know the world that is coming. You have to be quick and fast. Right now, if they're doing for me a video, one of them is preparing for me my video clips. And I cannot even catch up with their hands where they're going. I mean,
That's true. I have 3 little boys at home. My son is 8. His cousin is 10, and the other cousin is 12. 3 little boys with digital stuff and this, and I was like, wow, it is their era. Give it to them, and you don't slow them down. You just try to make sure that they have time away from the devices, of course, but we don't slow them down, because that's their era. That's how they're growing. They won't know it anyway. They have to have that speed of digitization. Yeah.
And that's where we're going.
It's true. Lisa. Yeah.
That you can see how much damage that has caused right now. All the schools, I don't know about your side, your kids are doing online classes. There's things like Team site, and Microsoft Team or Zoom, or some of them are using YouTube for training. But not all of them are doing that. I am so disappointed, to be honest, that we are still getting emails out parents to send the homeworks to the children. And I'm thinking, like, why don't you do not teach them how to create an email, how to have an email and manage an email? And don't forget also, some parents don't own computers. It's sort of like a luxury, but I don't think it's one of the things you call luxury. If you have a TV, you should have a computer. That's how it is. In my house, I have a TV which is always black. I don't know the TV at all since I knew what a computer is. It's that bad. I work with radios and computers. So and it's a beautiful world, I have to say. When I started, in those I'm in Europe right now almost. It's amazing. I mean, yeah, I have to go back to that. And my head is faster than my mouth. So
Right, that's okay. We'll take you step by step. So,
I've been in Europe for 18 years now. 18 years. That's why I'm so surprised that I'm still here. I always say I want to go back home. I want to go back home. That's why I'm saying I'm going to come back to returnee program one.
Yes. We'll get to the returnees program, which is pretty much what you're encouraging in Kenya as well, investing back in Kenya while we do it in Cameroon and Ghana and Nigeria, etc. So to wrap up this idea of digitization and which platforms to use, we're just telling people, yes, focus on the iPads and iPhones because it's technology is what we need today. But remember to also have time for your mom, your dad, your kids. So we're calling that iMom, iDad, iKids time, right? So remember that so instead of only iPad, remember iMom or iKid or try to diversify as well. Now, going back to something else you mentioned earlier on, Joy, and I was going to come back to you regarding this. You said that our way, you focus on recognizing people, their work and all that they have done. And it first started with the women, but of course you've moved also to the men. Now tell us a little bit more about the Awe Awards and the awardees and anything else you think would be necessary for us to know.
Yes, the idea came out from, as I said, we were all doing everything digitalized. So we used to have an online radio. It's still like it's a Blog Talk radio show. I think I still have my channel there. You can still watch all the interviews we did. And we used to do them at night to reach out to our members. And we used to interview them. What are they doing? Because at the end of the day, we had just numbers in our website, signed members, but we didn't know exactly what they were doing. So that's, and we discovered some of them were actually really, really entrepreneurial women who are doing great, either in India, either in all sorts of things. And and then we said, if you compare, if you're in Germany, you will not be, if you're competing with the others, we will not see you. We will not see what you'll be number 100 or whatever. But for us, we need to see this. We need to see this icon. We need to see who you are, because you are number one to us.
Right.
So we decided to have the awards and recognize these women, make them know, not only for them business-wise or whatever they were doing, but also as an icon to our children and ourselves. As I mentioned to you how you have so many African people coming here in Europe who are over-educated. I call them over, because some of you have 2 degrees. I don't have any 2, 3 degrees, and I don't know what you're doing with those stuff. You put them under the bed, and I see you doing and I'm like, please give me one of that one. It doesn't work. I mean, nobody can waste their time to education, and then you come here and do odd job. So these are kind of people putting these people up, and we can actually confirm how many women have until now changed their way of lifestyle, change their way of doing things. And now I'm seeing everybody. It's just like a land, so it's a place where we nurture women. They already know what they're supposed to do, but when they come, especially to the events of the awards and see how the women are getting the awards, they go home and say, "Oh, they can do it. I can do it too." So what happened? They all start companies. Every time I have started a company year ago, year after, I said, that's what we wanted. It's a stepping stone. We call our awards for the others and for our children, because I don't want our children thinking that's all you can do as an African person. So much. So these Awe Awards were meant for that. So we do them every second year. So not every year, so that we make sure we get the right people, and it's members who vote for them and their fans as well, because the idea is not really winning. The idea is that being recognized, that you're doing a great job. And some of them also, like one of our members, we love her so much. She has a hotel in Germany, and it was like, it's very rare you hear such kind of things. I mean, you hear you're working in a hotel, but you own it. And I'm owning a hotel. Superb hotel here in Germany, and she's the owner running it. And we really go.
What's her name? You can feel free to mention her name and the hotel, so others can visit it.
She's called Caroline Mullen-Hope. You should have her here, actually. She should be a guest. She is fantastic.
Okay.
Now, because of the COVID-19, of course, they have been affected, but she's also...
In which city? In which city is she?
Schaumburg, down when you look, where are we? It's close to Dusseldorf.
Okay, all right.
But the city is called Schaumburg.
So anybody living around Schaumburg who watches this video now or later on, you want to check out Caroline Mullen-Brooks Hotel, please do that and let us know. Joy says it's an amazing hotel.
So she cooks African. The hotel actually is decorated like African. The atmosphere is African. Everything is African. There's the rooms, the African men, like the king, the queen, and she does African festivals too, because she has a huge compound, beer garden, and right now, because of its clothes, she's making chapatis. I don't know whether you know what is chapatis.
No, it's a Kenyan. No.
The chapat, like chapata, how do you call that?
Anyway. What is it made out of? What is the constituents? What do I need for a chapata?
Watermeal, that's all, and salt and a little bit of sugar and oil.
Okay, I would have said pancake. I would have said pancake though. Okay.
It's not a cake.
Pancake? Is it flattened out like pancake?
It's a pancake, but you need to knead the dough. You know what? I give you homework, and then when you make them, send her a photo. She'll be so amazed.
All right, I have to learn about Kenya more. You know, I was talking actually to Carol K, who does Borodika Radio, and I told her someday, I mean, when we're moving with the returnees project now, getting into returnees, we're moving with the returnees project from Cameroon into Nigeria and Ghana. The next country we want to visit is with you, possibly, and Carol, to see the work you've been doing out there. Lisa Ragva says Carol makes the best African dishes. We need to check out that hotel, actually. Yeah, that would be good. So tell us a little bit about that.
Was one of the awardees of the Away Award last one, and we were all amazing. And we went to her hotel to have because we have country events. Away Germany, Away UK, like what I was mentioning last year. Away Germany, we went to our hotel to support her.
Right.
This happened in Holland. That was the award.
This was Holland. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. So this is a picture of the African women in Germany event, an example of that event, ladies and gentlemen, run again by here. Our guest of today, founder Joy ZENZ, called Joy Away because of the African women in Europe. So this is an example of one of the events at which she brings the women together. What fascinates us most about Joy is the fact that even way before these awards, way before everybody started getting digital, she had already been bringing the African women doing amazing things together here. I remember when she was in Switzerland, when she had to hand out the media award, that was the first time I heard about the work she's doing. So that's how I got in touch with the African Women in Europe platform. Amazing work. But something which also mentioned is that Joy is a great mom. We showed you already, for those joining now, her little boy, now very big, showing the stay at home sign. And Joy is already also interested in us keeping fit. That's why she encourages the women to join the platforms. One thing Joy doesn't know is that my team has been snooping around and found a beautiful picture. This is going to surprise you.
That was actually my last visit in Kenya. That was in February before this corona came down. And yeah, that's my mom and dad. My mom just turned 70 just last year.
Happy birthday, mommy.
My dad, when I went there, actually was going for his 70th birthday as well.
Amazing, amazing. So we always like to see that family love, that bond, which keeps you going. And one thing that takes you to Africa also is the love for the continent, just the fact that you like giving back. So we're talking about the returnees now, returnees moving back or investing in Africa with projects in Kenya, diaspora areas of investment and knowledge transfer. Now, what would you say so far is your experience? Do the Kenyans also want to move back or invest back in Africa? And if yes, what reasons or what is the dynamics for returnees in Kenya?
I would say it's 50-50. Yes, why I say 50-50, because I don't know about Cameroonians, but as Kenyans, we like to mingle also with the Europeans. We are married to a European and we have mixed children and all. So race diversity, and which is beautiful, right? And so you end up having 50-50 options. So what happens, and it's always happening anyway, you have Kenya people really investing back at home, and they are going there half of the year in winter. Of that, I call it very luxury life. 50 years, 50%, or during winter you go to Kenya and live in Kenya. And the other people say, here, picking up your children, your grandchildren, and all that. So I've seen this a lot with most of the Kenyan, and the others want to stay, of course, with different reasons. But I am one of them who I'm the 50-50 because of I have my children here who are born here and also raised in Germany. They're also Germans as well. Right. So I will be 50-50, and I'm looking forward even to make it 80-20.
80-20, okay.
90-10, and then 100% whoosh on the other side.
Yeah, so step by step, you're planning, you're moving back, you're making sure you go back. You were just mentioning you don't know how it is like in Cameroon. Well, typically, I won't say as much as the Kenyans, no statistics, right? But typically, I would say our children are not that mixed. That's my little boy there. So very much, we kind of stick so much to the Cameroonians. So you will see from my son and from your son that, yes, it is true that the Kenyans mingle a little bit more. And then mentioning again the Returnees Project, we meet every year in Douala in Cameroon, and we'll be having the 5th edition this year. So since the year 2016, during the year, we connect people moving back, relocating, those who are already there, and try to, give more information. Oh, as a matter of fact, we try to give more information about the diaspora and those moving back. Right? Yeah, I think she's super. Copy of this. Yes, do that. Yeah, while Joy gets a copy of her Returnees magazine, I just remember that for the Kenya. Oh, yes. That was Joy. Okay. Not so easy with the camera, but let's put it this way. Now, that is Joy Sen contributing in the Returnees magazine, talking about, taking out a survey to find out what Africans are saying about moving out back or not, So some people say, yes, they would like to move back home. I plan to, but we need proper strategies so that we don't go home empty-handed. Technology transfer is a good example of what we can facilitate a smooth transition. So meaning we have to identify a technology which can be easy to adapt home. This was just a survey carried out by Joy on Facebook to find out from a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people, well, hundreds of people writing what they think about moving back home and investing back home. So for the Returnees Project, we do that. Yeah. So Joy, is there anything else you wanted to mention with either, the Returnees and the projects the Africans have in Kenya, or anything else regarding the Returnees?
Yes, I mean, this project, I find it quite interesting for my people who are listening here. I shared this video, but I hope there are some of the leads as well was here, was one of my hours in Germany. It's a great program. Please take advantage of looking what they're doing. Returnees, they have very nice packages, and get what exactly it is about, because I think it's a great model, and you also package it also in a way people can go back also for holidays. Yes. To go back to the country. And I know also we have one of our members who does something similar like that in Kenya and things like that. So it's something that we diaspora can take a look at it and see how we can, because things are changing now. Things are changing and you don't know where it's going to go. Any opportunity coming right now, take advantage of it. Definitely. Right. Yes, I would be one of them taking it, but I want to open my own company and sit inside it.
And sit in there. So we're talking again, cutting across Africa. We are very African, the African women in Europe. So some days I look like a South African, like in this picture. That is when we're trying to change, transform. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Joy Awe today, there is when she was receiving the African Business Support Award last year. Woo-hoo. So congratulations. It says, 2019 Achievers Award, right? 2 years ago, 2018. So I'm just telling the viewers again, Joy has been recognized on many platforms. And one thing I cherish about you, which I'm saying on camera, Joy, is the fact that you're very down to earth and collaborative. You actually work and do what you say. You collaborate with a lot of different women from different countries, Ghana, Cameroon, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa. So you cut across Africa, basically, which is exactly what we want to have. Women collaborating, because you say within our way, African women in Europe, you say together we are strong. You keep insisting to women, together we are strong. You shouldn't see each other as competition. You should hold each other's hands and rise. And so before we wrap up the interview, what makes you such an amazing leader, Joy? Or let me put it that way, what are the qualities of a great leader? What would you say we need to emulate to be great leaders? Talk to the young girls watching you now.
It's a very good question, but I always find myself in leadership since when I was young, elected, or I'm there. So, and I have to say, it's not about one person leadership. It's about working with others. I wouldn't say I've done all this away on my own. I have a team. I have a very, very strong team, and we have different characters in different ways. You have to work with others. There's no leadership without working with others. I cannot say I did it on my own. I had these qualities. Somebody else had another quality, and I'm trying to adjust, especially the PR. There's some of us who are technical, if you have not found, they don't like being on the screen. Yeah, this is something that I had to also learn to go on doing videos and getting to be seen, because you need to be known who you are and what you're preaching. And also something else very important, and especially if you're an African leader and you want to be a leadership, please try to focus on one thing. Women. We do so many things. So as a leader, yes. And follow your passion. There is something you like to do. And I have to say, if I didn't go by a computer, probably I would be just being at home doing everything else like everybody else does, right? You have to go and look for what is your passion. I didn't even know I had this passion of internet. I didn't know it gave me so joy. You should see me when I crack something in the house. I'm go dancing and jumping and woo, and I go like, are you serious? That you need to go out as I would say, because the word leadership, I think sometimes it's overdone. Everybody is a leader in their own ways. Everybody is a leader. You lead somewhere something. You will be leading something. Every mother is a leader. How many hats do we wear? We have to be leading the family. We have to figure it out how best to do it. So leadership comes after knowing your passion, knowing what you want. So what you want and what you need much better. Find out what is your passion. What makes you go, wow, today I'm feeling so happy. Find out what is that made you so happy today. You know, sometimes you feel so happy and you don't know what it is. Exactly. Work out with your mind. What was it? Because that's what makes you happy, will keep you staying longer and being a leader in what you do, because leaders are different concepts, but they have one thing in common. They have passion, they are focused, and they follow their call, because it's sort of like a call. Everyone has one in different way. That's what I would say. I never thought myself as a leader, even when I was young. I think that word I still struggle until I don't still see myself as a leader. I just do what I like to do. And if you find it a leadership, let's go with that. But
people see that passion in you, definitely, right? So they see that passion. One thing you mentioned also is the team, the amazing team you work with. So yes, that is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that from Joy. Follow your passion. Follow what it is you do best, what makes you happy. Try to track that. What was it that made me so happy? So it is your passion. Stay focused. Don't do too many things. No, focus on what it is, your skill. That's your purpose. So focus on your purpose. And of course, work with an amazing team. Before we wrap up, tell us, are there some good books you would want to recommend for our viewers, Joy?
Yes, we have written a book. Our book, of course.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, find the Awe books. I think there's a part 1 and 2. Read the Awe books. She recommends that. What about music, Joy? What is some nice music? There we go. Woo! African women in Europe. Recommendation.
We were 11 women who wrote this book, sharing our story. So what I just told you is also on this book. I have my chapter Of course, we were all dressed up in our own designs, and like you had that photo, that's my story. And so many women here gave their way, how they came here, how they did it, and what they're doing right now, positive, negative.
Perfect.
But they're also very, we also have youth as well. So these are great books to read, and it's going for 12 to 13 euro. You can inbox me on Joy Awe, and I'm happy to send you a copy. And we have volume 2 coming up. For volume 2, we have been doing quarantine. We have been writing volume 2 as well.
During the quarantine time, you're writing a book, African Women in Europe Again. Get through to Joy Awe on Facebook, right? So Joy Awe on Facebook and African Women in Europe Facebook as well. Get in touch, get a copy of this book, see how women trust the process and follow their skills to build something passionate for themselves. Joy, what kind of music do you like? Or would you like me to entertain you at the end of this interview with some Cameroonian music? How about that?
I love dancing. I love dancing to all music. I don't have any specific music, but yeah, let's try the Cameroonian music.
Right. But before we wrap up, I always ask my guests, since we're going on a very solemn time in the world, very serious time, a time for reflection, a family time, ensuring that everyone is conscious of the fact that while we're here, people are dying in the world, people are suffering in the world. So we want you to just leave a message for the world, give you about 2 to 3 minutes, and you can pass on your message to the world now, Joy.
Yes, the trial right now. We're having COVID-19 going on. You're at home. Don't let fear win. Don't let fear win in any form of way. If you can shut that TV, you can shut that group that is just sending you all those crazy stuff to create fear. Fear doesn't help anyone, and actually that's how you lose. So for me, fear is something that I've worked for so many years not to, because nobody knows their destiny. And if it's your time, it comes, it comes. So you don't really have to create fear. Fear is the worst thing you can do right now. That's the most important thing. And then share your love. Share your love with the people around you. Call your friends, especially the diasporans who are here, staying on their own. Check on your friends. You used to have parties and doing all this stuff. Come on, check on your friends what they're doing, because lots of us diaspora stay at home on their own, and because of the situations or students, you never know what is happening. So that's very important. And then eat healthy, of course. It's very important to eat. Exercise. There are free videos. You need to stay healthy in your mind. Staying in the house, you can go crazy because of staying indoors. Keep your mindset quite good there are quite free programs on the YouTube as well. You can follow as well. And also very important, pray. Whenever you feel very, very sad and things are not working the way you want, some of you have lost your jobs or having difficult situation, pray and start planning what you can do in the next future with whatever changes that are happening right now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard Joy ZENZ. Go back and watch the video and listen to her message to the world. One thing will leave you with: pray. Pray if you think it's too much. So while we're saying be safe, we're also saying be sane. So be safe and be sane. Keep your mindset strong. Focus on the things you love. Focus on the people you love. Yes, that's the stay-at-home sign. So I'll give you a chance to, you said call on your friends, check on your friends. I'll give you a chance to just say hello to a couple of people who you cannot see at this moment. Just a shout out to some people while we wrap up the interview.
Hello, my African friends who are in Africa. I miss you all. Enjoy the weather there. It's looking good on you guys. Yes, also stay at home. I think most of the countries in Africa, you have to stay at home. I love you all. And my mom and my dad, my sister, it feels like a radio. So I'm going to do the radio.
So, Joy, it was a huge pleasure. Yeah, it was a So I want to say hello to my mom, my dad, everyone who has been there. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been having a brilliant interview with Joy ZENZ, the founder of African Women in Germany. We are in Europe again, founder of the African Women in Europe, the AWE, that's Joy ZENZ. On Facebook, Joy AWE, she talked about the African diaspora and how they're trying to invest also in Africa. She talked about the success through digitization. Go back and watch this interview. 7 p.m. every evening, we meet here and talk to brilliant guests from different parts of the world who give you tips and ideas and advice on what you can do to use this quarantine period, this lockdown period effectively. Joy, it was a huge pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me on your show. And you're doing a great work, Miranda. I'm looking forward to all your energies. You're so a passionate lady, and I send you grease. You say grease to your elbow, more grease.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And let's connect the way we do connect is the right way of doing it. Together we're strong.
Together we're strong, right? And then if we get even more people, we get stronger. So ladies and gentlemen, remain strong, remain loving and caring to one another, cut across all the taboo topics and bring them so we can talk about and open up to the world. We want to thank my brilliant team working behind the scenes to ensure we have an amazing interview. We want to thank the global team of the Returnees Project working hard to ensure that we remain a household name across Africa. Again, for those who are invited to the speakers arena, we will see you on the 27th of March, 2021, because as a result of the crisis, we cannot have a full hall like we planned this year. So we're going to see you on the 27th of March, 2021, for those watching and tuning in. Thank you once more for being a part of us. I'm going to introduce Joy to some Nigerian music. She's a very strong African. She loves African music. So I'll introduce her to one of my favorite African songs by Yemi Alade.
By
Yemi Alade, something this my African life and gonna yeah, my African lips that gon' kill for you. Oh, my African lips get down to you. Oh, my African legs that gon' front with you. Whether you come here to break down, I think you come here to shake hands. You come here to make plans, and I will never reject all that land. Whether you come here to love me, oh, I be like the one, oh, everything they oh, I will reject all the land. Anywhere you go, London, USA. Nowhere be like Africa, nowhere be like home. Anywhere you go, New York, Chicago. Nowhere be like Africa, nowhere be like home. People
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Joy AWE for you. So again, check out our pages online. Make sure you check out the AWE website. Register to be able to get the information. African Women in Europe.eu. Check out the Facebook page as well under African Women in Europe. Joy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hakuna Matata.
Kama umekuja kulipa kupiga densi hapo ulipo kata kiu nowhere be like Africa, nowhere be like home.
See you again tomorrow, 7 p.m. Germany, 6 p.m. Cameroon. We will be having an interview and we'll be talking to someone who knows exactly how it is like to style the African hair. We'll be taking a trip from Germany to Cameroon to talk to Myra Fombe of Lotter Options. Take care of your families, take care of yourself, share love, stay strong, remain focused, and of course, remember to be an inspiration. Bye for now. It's an African one. Yeah.
me out.